Am I right?
Yes.
Eh? I'm right.
No, you're not
Two
right,
and two.
you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's George Orwell shit.
But I believe it with all my heart.
Yeah, but you believe in God is all right.
So just because you believe something, it doesn't make it true.
You believe that your God is righteous. You believe your God. You are, in my opinion, in a Muslim or a Buddhist man's opinion, you are putting two together to make 5. So you are wrong.
So you don't acknowledge God doesn't exist.
I
You don't
basically
acknowledge that
have
God
my own
exists.
spiritual, my own Taoist, my own Buddhist beliefs. How can you tell me?
Do you acknowledge that God exists?
A certain God, yes, but not
What
your
God's
God.
that?
Basically, a God.
How do you know what my God is?
Because you're a Christian, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I believe, my grandmother's very Christian, but I basically believe that God is impersonal to a certain extent. I believe that God is a spiritual thing. But how can you tell me your God is the right? How can you tell me your God is a 2 plus 2 equals 4?
Because if the God of the Bible doesn't exist, you can't know anything. Let me ask you this, sir. Could you be wrong about everything you claim to know?
So could you. We all could.
Could you be wrong about everything you claim to know? You could be, yeah?
Yeah, and you could as well.
So if you say you could be wrong about everything you claim to know, doesn't it follow that you don't know anything?
Okay, that's Descartes, but wait.
Hold on, sir.
Yeah.
If you could be wrong about everything you claim to know, doesn't it follow that you don't know anything?
In some degree, yes. Yes.
So when you say that the God of the Bible doesn't exist, you've been refuting. You know why? Because you could be wrong.
But you're saying you could be wrong as well, because you're saying the same.
How do you know I could be wrong? If you're wrong about everything you claim to know.
You just said that same argument.
Yeah, I'm saying the same argument back to you. Basically, you don't.
How do you know?
Because you don't know. You don't know.
No, how do you know that I could be wrong?
The illusionist is actually mental. Basically, I'm saying I'm missing that I have subjective perception of this world.
How do you know?
I know that my world is my world. So I'm saying that you cannot.
How do you know? How do you know?
How do you know that? How do you know my world?
The thing is, sir, once you claim that you could be wrong about everything, it's all it's over. It's over.
So do you
because you could be wrong.
Do you think you could? Do you claim that you're wrong about anything?
I'm wrong about some things, but I'm not wrong about everything.
You're wrong about,
God reveals things to us such that we can know.
Okay, but say, okay, the Muslim man or the Hindu man claims that he is not wrong about anything in his belief.
How do you know? How do you know he claims that?
Because I know them. I know them.
What, Muslims believe that they're not wrong about anything?
No, not wrong about their belief. Like, you know you're not wrong about your belief.
But their teachings self-refute.
The Old and New Testament actually refute themselves.
If you do an internal critique on the Quran, it absolutely destroys itself.
Yeah, but Jesus is the most
It says to go to the people of the Bible, trust in Jesus Christ, and then it turns around and says he didn't die on the cross. It self-refutes itself. It self-contradicts itself.
Basically, I don't know, man. But I just think
you could be wrong, mate.
But you could be wrong as well.
How do you know that?
How do you know I'm wrong?
Because you've told me.
But I'm saying I admit that.
You told me you could be wrong about everything.
Yeah, and I admit, and I said that you could also be wrong because you have no.
But how do you know that? How do you know I could be wrong?
You're a human being.
If you could be wrong.
Because you're a human being.
Yeah, but how do you know that?
Because
that's not the answer.
Because basically, I bet you could be everything wrong, but you must admit that you could be. What do you say? Do you think you're absolutely right about this?
About what?
Everything.
I don't know everything.
So but
I know the things that God has revealed to us.
You're wrong about some things.
Yes, but you're claiming that you're wrong about. You could be wrong about everything.
I'm saying
you're claiming you could be wrong about everything you claim to know.
But you're wrong about a lot of. You could be wrong